Morning, everybody. Come on in. We're just sitting here chit-chatting. Hi, David. Hi, Stacy. I see Stacy's up there too. Hello.
Good morning, guys. This is Ann.
Well, hi, Ann. I seen your name there. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I was thinking about you this morning, actually the last couple of days, because we got all these hummingbirds coming in and out.
Oh my goodness.
Even in the rain, it was pouring down rain, and we had hummingbirds fighting over our feeders.
I think we've only seen two. Yeah, we have two, and don't know what happened. I mean, that's
Wow.
so different from from the previous years.
Well, I think they're all over here because we got more than the previous years. Or maybe I'm just here more, or I position my feeders more better. I don't know.
Maybe you have sweeter nectar.
I'm using sugar water right now, believe it or not, something I've rarely done.
That's what we're doing too. Now, we usually do I think it's 2 cups of water to half a cup of sugar. Is that your that's what you guys do too?
I'm not sure. I just do a quarter, 1/4 sugar to 3 parts water. So whatever that comes up to, I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We've got let me find this here. We've got an update. I don't know if anybody's seen this that Kathy Davis sent. I know Diana sent this out on what they're proposing in the St. Louis area. Let me find this. I'll put it in the chat here. This is for landlords in particular on single and multifamily dwellings being responsible for the trash bills now. Has anybody seen any of that they're putting in? David, you might. I know you're up. Let me see. This is what, I don't know if this one will, no, it's not going to work this way. Let me find the actual page. That's what she sent. Let's see here. This is what they're proposing in St. Louis County. And Diana sent out a email. I don't know. Here you go. See if you can click onto this one in the chat there. This will give you the actual bill that they're proposing here. And I think they already did that. I don't know. Kathy was real brief about it when I talked to her the other day, but she sent me this link. So that's something you might want to make a note of.
So I did send that to Charlie Hinlider, the St. Louis Government Affairs Director, or whatever you call him. Actually, he said he's the one that sent it to Kathy. So okay. He's on it. And so I'm not exactly sure what we're doing with it, but just know that St. Louis Realtors is involved in it too now. So
yes. Yeah, so that's just something to be aware of. There's more. I know one of the things I do, I don't really have rental properties anymore, but even with my sales, but what I did with my rental properties before is I just included that with the rent, even though I would ask for them to pay it separately. Very rarely do they. They might have for, especially like MSD and some of that, they'll pay it maybe for a month or 2 or even 6 months. And then for whatever reason, they quit paying them. And I've gotten stuck with them before. So what I do, what I've always made a practice of doing is just pad my rent a little bit, add an extra $100 to cover trash or whatever the case may be. So I know in certain areas, I think it was Delwood that we've had problems with in the past. They've always required us to pay it. One of the things I know we got dinged on a few times is people putting too much trash in their container and the lid wasn't closed all the way. That's a $25 fine from the city of Delwood right there. If they have a box or something in there and the lid's propped open, they charge, and that's happened more than once. They charge me $25 as the property owner, regardless of what the renter is doing. So this kind of stuff, and I think we're going to see more and more of this. I don't know, but they're coming back to the landlords more and more all the time.
Now, John, in Hazelwood, also the landlord is responsible for the trash, and I think they've been doing this for like at least 4 or 5 years.
Yes, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, just be aware of it. And, if you got renters, that's just one more thing to be cautious about. And Kathy will be with us next week so we can get an update, but that was like last week. So Anybody got anything they want to buy or sell? I know market's kind of changing a little bit from what I've seen. No, nobody wants to buy anything. Nobody wants to sell anything. Anybody working on something? And did you get your concrete work done that you were looking at?
Oh, yes, I got that done. Yes. Definitely. That was a company. I can't remember the name of it now. Someone that my he set it up, but they did a fantastic job. I can find the name later for you if anyone's looking for something like that.
Oh, just curious. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I am not, but we always have people that are looking for that stuff.
John, I'm looking for a fourplex in the 63118 zip code area, preferably at least 2 bedrooms, 1 bath per unit. Be nice if they have like a den area that could be converted into a 3rd bedroom.
Okay, so you're looking for a fourplex, 63118, and
Yeah.
Denise, are you looking for something that's turnkey? You're looking for something you could fix up?
Fix up, yeah.
Okay, what degree of fix up are you looking for? Anything
So I
rehab?
have an excellent contractor, so preferably not a full gut, but we're
Okay.
not afraid of that.
Okay, preferably not, but you're not afraid of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, probably like me, it depends on the deal, sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, we're trying to, the goal is to find and get it up and running before the end of the year. That was my final goal, to get one more property before the end of the year.
Okay.
So not looking for any kind of properties that are already rented. We're looking to add to the market to provide housing. So I don't want to displace anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So looking for value add.
Okay, gotcha. Looking for value added. And do you want to leave any contact information?
Sure, I can put it in my, I'll put it and drop it in the chat.
That'd be great. Mm-hmm.
Denise, do you have a price range that you're looking at?
So depending on the ARV, as is, no more than 200,000. But needs to
Okay.
have, it needs to be a good deal in the right
Yeah.
place.
Okay. All right. I would think this would be a good time too, to be looking for stuff, because I know there are some adjustments and I've seen some stuff changing in the last couple of weeks. As
Yeah.
far as what people are doing. And I know even in the building industry, some of the people say it's slowing down a little bit. I have yet to see that, because we're trying to still build our barn dominium, which is all we basically got is the trees cleared at this point in the well. So we're still messing with that, but we'll see.
Yep.
Okay, there we are, Denise. Thank you. Was it 4, 5? Is that 7, 6? All right.
So I'm on the West Coast, but I'm an early riser. So, I'm talking to my contractor and my realtors and stuff. So I'm used to the 2-hour difference.
That's got to be a tough time zone. I was on a call last night where they don't start till like 8 o'clock, and the people on the, our time, which is Central Time. So it's 6 o'clock your time, which is kind of early for a lot of meetings. But then on the East Coast, it's already going on 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So those guys are already ready to go to bed. And when they go to midnight, my time, it's 1 o'clock their time. But you guys are just getting ready for dinner.
We're just getting started.
So,
Yeah.
and then I always like that, because some of my groups, people in like New Zealand and in Australia, they're always tomorrow morning ahead of us for our evening. So I always know I'm guaranteed at least one more morning or one more night, because those guys got a morning. So I say,
Exactly.
I always thank them.
My daughter's in Korea, so it's like 16 hours difference. So I always have to adjust my time when we're talking to her. She calls me and she's getting ready to go to work and I'm at the end of my day.
Yeah, what messes us up, I think, with our coordination, at least in some of my groups, is when they do the time change.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody gets that right because they do them in different times. I got a friend in Israel who's in a couple of my groups, and theirs is like 2 or 3 weeks different from ours
Uh-oh.
whenever they do it. And so there's like a month period where nobody knows what time it is or what they're doing. So it's just craziness.
Yeah.
Mhm. Anybody else got anything? That's a good one, Denise. I'll keep an eye out for a 4-family, 4-plex. And anybody got anything they want to sell? I think everybody's still holding on to everything, what I've seen so far. Now, we were talking before you got on about some lots we had. Those, I know, and for me, they've been selling pretty well, building and camping lots. And there's a lot of people still kind of looking for places for either camping or for their future dream home.
So I do have a question and maybe Dave can answer this because I was on the call for the Section 8. And so my impression was that that was relevant to the city of St. Louis. However, there is city of St. Louis and then St. Louis County. Is that correct in terms of Section 8? So just coming from West Coast, that's a little odd. So how would you determine which agency is city or county? And is there a preference in terms of, sounds like maybe the problems are primarily St. Louis City versus St. Louis County, and are the resources different? Just trying to understand the difference there.
I can tell you that the problems we have are pretty widespread because we deal with a couple of different agencies, and actually we don't deal with St. Louis City. I did not realize that was city alone when I got on the call. But we also deal with East Missouri Action Agency, which covers Southeast Missouri, and they have their issues too. So she had said that they work together, but all she has control over is the city. So Stacy might be able to help on this too, but I'm pretty sure that they only take care of things within the city limit. Even though St. Louis City is in St. Louis County, they only take care of what's within the city limit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if you have a Section 8 voucher for the city, if you can use it in the county or not. I'm not sure they've like merged or anything. I don't know.
She said they work together. Work together. What does that really mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. But that's what she had said. Because I got on the call for a while. I was on for about half an hour, and I was, because I threw in my 2 cents, and she's very receptive to listening to what the issues are, and it's mostly communication.
Yeah.
And I think Zaya said, it was a good idea, and there's another guy nodding his head that because we deal with multiple owners and multiple tenants, it'd be good to have one liaison for just that deals with our company that we can call no matter which tenant it is. And so she was receptive to that, but then I realized, oh my gosh, that's only in the city. So.
And I have a question about that, the Section 8 meeting. There was a gentleman on there, I can't remember his name, but he said that we are allowed to add an addendum in the lease, stating that we're not responsible for leaking basements. Now, does that sound, reasonable? I mean, is that something that we could really do? Is anyone familiar with like something like that? Did you guys hear that?
Well, she had multiple sessions, and the one I joined, I was only on for like a half an hour, and I don't recall hearing that, so I'm not sure what that's referring to.
Yeah, this was the first session. I don't know if you were on the first one. I think it was, what, 11 o'clock, I believe, or the very first one. And, you know, I never heard of that. I mean, that just sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, I was on the second session, so I didn't hear that.
I'm glad she did this, and I hope it boils over into other. I hope she sets a precedent for other agencies, because unfortunately, and I think St. Louis City, you have to accept Section 8. I think that's what it is, but elsewhere you don't. And when I work with investors and they ask about Section 8, I discourage them from taking it, not because of any other reason, but having dealing with the bureaucracy of the different agencies and what they do. We've had, and she mentioned this too, that they've had issues where you can't move a tenant in without occupancy inspection, but that could take forever to get done. So that's a hurdle, and that's not good for the tenants, not good for the owners, and that's why I discourage them from taking it. You know, a lot of people say, yeah, well, I get guaranteed money, you know, I don't have to worry about getting my rent. That's true. That's a positive part of it. But just going through the bureaucracy is kind of a pain, especially when you know, we're dealing with a couple of different agencies. So you have to understand how each one works. So, and I wish it would. It's a great program, and I wish it were easier. And I'd be happy to you know, work with anybody. And that's what she said. She wanted to work with landlords, not be adversarial. So that was good to hear. But for some reason, I hate to say it, whenever we're dealing with the government agency, there's a problem. You know, right now we're dealing with SAFER. We have a number of tenants who applied for SAFER. I can tell you right now, because I do track it, that on average, it's about 45 days to get the, well, I think it's like 30 days to get the funds from application to funding. In some cases, it's been as high as 45 days. And it's also, I can see the abuse in it too. I'll give you an example. I have one tenant, she's received probably over $8,000 because she's applied a number of times. And then in our notes in our system, her lease has expired, but she wants to stay month to month because she's in the process of buying a house. And that's very upsetting that she's taking advantage of a program that people need for her own benefit. And the things that I see, like I process our applications now, the applications, and SAFER doesn't ask for any information regarding the tenant. Are they behind? You know, how much is the rent? You know, they may get that from the tenant, from the lease or something, but they don't ask us to clarify anything. They just ask us for, you know, for my driver's license, my tax ID, and my address, and that I agree to these things. And that's all they ask of me. It's not a matter of you know, proving that the tenant needs it or anything like that. So again, a government agency, and I'm not anti-government. I'm not anti this program. I think it's a great program, but I wish it'd be handled a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like they ask the landlord more questions. I mean, they even asked for proof of ownership.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
So I have to pull up, which, believe it or not, same information they can get. I go to one of the websites that us as realtors have access to, Realist, that I can pull up the tenant, the owner information. That's where I submit as proof of ownership, and then along with the property management agreement. But no questions whatsoever about the tenant.
So Dave, is that the state assistance program? I have a tenant that's recently applied for what my property manager is calling a state assistance program. Is that the
Yeah.
program you're referring
Yeah,
to?
that's what it is. And again, it's not a bad program. People do need it. And the problem is, for example, I have no idea what's going on. We were getting direct deposits and I changed that to send me a check because I'll get money in the bank account. It just shows up in the bank account. Having to go look in the bank account. Oh, there's safer money. Who does it belong to?
Oh,
You know, so there's no information like that. And I can't get it. If you want a status, there's a dashboard. So I can log into my safer program, see all the applicants that I have. No status whatsoever. If I need a status on where this has been out there for 20 days, what's the status? Once in a while, I'll get an email saying that the application has been approved. Actually, I just got one a little while ago. Application has been approved, but then that for that I get nothing. And then it still takes 2 to 3 weeks to get the funds after it's been approved.
oh, okay. That's good to know, because that's not what my PM said. I
Yeah.
think he's under the impression it's a little faster than that.
And-
I think she had applied, and then there was some paperwork that was missing that she had to go in and provide. But then he also, which I thought was odd, but I don't know about this program, that they provide a lump sum. He used the term lump sum. So, and he said 3-month lump sum. So they send out 3 months of rent. Okay.
Yes, and also they break it down because the tenant has to apply for back rent and future rent, right? And so
Okay.
it's 2 different figures. And believe it or not, when they submit the money, they submit 2 different, so I watch the bank account for safer deposits, and I'll get 2. So I've got to keep track of that. So I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of the tenant, the application number, and how much they applied for back rent, how much they applied for future rent. And say, because of that, I'm going to see 2 deposits. I got to go find which tenant had those 2 deposits. Again, I switched to getting checks so that I'm trying to figure out where that money came from.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So if you
Well,
got
thank you.
more than one, it makes sense to get a check then. That's a nightmare almost. You're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it is, because again, and believe it or not, they'll change the amount, because like I said, I have my spreadsheet that has the tenant name, the application number, how much they're getting in arrears and how much future rent they're getting. And then I go back and look just because I can't figure this out, but I went back to look at all the applications. They've changed the amounts of how much they're getting. So I have to go on a regular basis and so they updated, no notification. I just happened to go out and look and saw that. So
David, are they giving you more or less than the agreed upon amount?
it's typically more.
Typically more. Okay. Well, that's good, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
But so I just had an owner in here, and he was really upset with me because we can't evict them once they've applied for it, right?
Okay.
And not only that, you can't evict them for I forget how long in the future. So he was upset. This tenant is behind. Why aren't we doing something about it? Sorry, Bob, nothing I can do about it. You're going to get the money. You're going to get you'll get it, plus late fees. All of that is coming. But we can't do anything to them at this point in time. And so
Even if they violate the lease.
that's
for
a
other
different story.
reasons?
That's for other reasons you can, but
Okay.
not for rent.
Okay.
So, I was told, well, you can deny, you don't have to fill that out and just say you're not going to do it. Don't agree to the terms. But in down here in Southeast Missouri, the judge that's the first thing that the judge asks if we go to eviction, have you applied for safer? Yes or no? If they say yes, she throws it out until, so now I'm pretty much obligated to complete my part.
Oh, boy.
And there's no
Dave?
limit. Did I understand that correctly? There's no limit as to how often they can apply for that?
Apparently not, because I've had several that they're like their 3rd round.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. I have 2, Dave. Yes, there you can. I had a tenant that did it like I think the 4th time. Well, she's on the 4th time now. Yes, and I know they're. I hate to say this, but they're abusing it. It's
Yes.
Dave, I have a question for you. What about if they're on a monthly lease on Section 8? Do you have more options to evict them then for not paying rent?
I don't. No, I can't answer that. I'm just talking about the SAFER program, and I gotta go back and look and see if I have anything on Section 8 that's also applied for SAFER. But sorry, I can't answer that question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, did you say section? I'm sorry, the question was. So yes, you can't, I had a tenant that's on Section 8 and she did apply. Was that the question? I'm sorry, I kind of missed that.
No, about evicting someone on Section 8, if they were on a monthly lease instead of a year lease, if you'd have more options to evict them for not paying rent.
Oh, I see. And I'm not even sure if section, Dave, you may answer this question, but I don't know if Section 8 will allow month, do they?
They do not.
I didn't think
Okay.
so. No.
And why would someone apply for the SAFER program if they're on Section 8? Wouldn't you just go back to the caseworker if their income has been reduced or eliminated? And Section 8 would then make an adjustment?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't recall if I have any Section 8 that's applied for it.
I think they would do
Well-
that in theory, but it takes months to get things approved and set up, and the, changed rent or changed amount that Section 8 pays. It takes a while to get everything approved and in motion.
Yeah, that's true. And
So
they're
then
on,
the SAFER program would be like a stopgap, like a bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, so I pulled up my spreadsheet, and average days to fund is 38.45, so 39 days, and the most it's taken is I think it's 64 days.
I was just gonna say, some of my older tenants, it took 2 months for them to get approved and for us to get the money.
Yeah.
And they just stopped paying rent. And I'm like, you have to pay rent until we get the money, and then you don't have to pay for 3 months. And so it was messy.
Yeah, it looks like Reggie says that it's been a while since he had a Section 8 and they didn't allow monthly either. That's what I kind of remember too. It's been a long time for us and I don't remember any month to month. I believe it was 1 year at a time.
Yeah, it has to be annual. Yes, no month to month.
I do remember, and I'm not sure if they still do it, but, and I can't remember which way it went, but one of the vouchers, they're separate for the city and county, but one of them was better if I think if they got the city voucher and went to the county, if I remember right, because I don't know if they got a few more benefits or it's easier to work with. There was something about it. Now I don't remember it because it's been many years, but there was one that would go to the other one, but you didn't want I think the county to go to the city, if I remember right. And I could be wrong. It could be the other way. But then again, I don't have any, so I don't know. We used to have that Southeast Missouri one too, which I really liked. We first got in touch or first got associated with them when we bought a house, and the lady had been there 16 years on that program, and they were actually pretty good to work with. I know they got a place in Park Hills, which I stopped at a few times just because I was going down there, and I'd make an appointment and I could bring them the paperwork. I could set up a time. They were easier to work with than the ones we had in the county up in St. Louis, I know, but that's about all I really know about it. It's just been a while. And the one they had the other day, I didn't get a chance. Did they have that, 3 times? I think 3 different times they had that meeting, but I didn't have a chance to tune into that though.
So I told you, I just got the notification. I got an email from SAFER that someone's been approved. So I just went and opened it and looked it up, and she applied June 6th and just today got approved. So it's gonna be another 2-3 weeks before we get the money.
Wow. Okay. So you're probably looking at every bit of 60 days then. Yep.
From application to receipt of money.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I do remember that the ERAP program moved much faster, and I don't know if they're still offering that.
No.
Does anyone know? I really have not done the safer. I did one with the ERAP, ERAP.
Mhm.
That was much easier. And you could call them and get information over the phone.
Well, you can call Safer too on it, because I have their number here and I have their email, but you're on hold for 20 minutes.
Yeah, see, I know, yeah, ERAP was much easier.
Yeah, Reggie's saying in the chat here, city can be used in the county and vice versa. Yeah, I kind of remember that. I just thought one was easier. Let's see, county's slightly higher. Yeah, you probably have to just work at or look at the current status, see how they deal with it. Yeah. So. All right, anybody else have anything they're working on or anything they want to buy or sell? A lot of good discussion here on what's going on. I know we gotta stay up on stuff and they seem to change it about every other week on the details. So just never a dull moment. Kathy will be with us next week, so get your legal questions together, I guess. Ask the attorney first Friday of the month. And every Friday at 11, or in case of Denise, every Friday at 9. So, yeah, we got a couple of good things coming up. I know we have the McMillan Brothers coming up for our regular main event. In August, we're going to have Ted Drew's frozen custard, so that ought to be good if you can get out. You want to come out. If you haven't been out to the Moolah Shrine Center, I invite you to come out. It's really a nice place. It's really, I mean, I always liked the Realtor building and was really disappointed when they wouldn't let us come back, but I'm kind of really not disappointed anymore because the Moolah is so nice. I mean, we got lots of room. There's big tables. There's I mean, everything is just really friendly. We got a tech guy on staff. Well, it's one of their staff that works with us. I know we had a little bit of difficulties the other day, or last couple of weeks ago, and we're working on getting that straightened out. But yeah, overall, it's pretty good place and well worth it. If you can't make it, I know I understand that, Denise. I don't expect you to travel for every on location meeting, but you are welcome to we do stream it on Zoom, and we've been doing it we've been alternating on Facebook and then on YouTube the last few months. So, if you can't make it for some reason, you can't find it on your Zoom, if you can't find your link on your email or something, you're always welcome to tune into Facebook, our STLREIA site, or on YouTube. So we do have that. And the replays, of course, they're always on the members area on the website, STLREIA.com, STLREIA.com. So if you're not a member, I do encourage you to become a member. It's only $75 a year for two people at the same house. I mean, you get so much out of it. Of course, we invite guests to most of our things anyway that's virtual, but you get a lot of extra things in the membership too, though, that you don't normally get. And plus, depending on how you're set up, it's tax deductible. I mean, I know just about everything I do is tax deductible because everything I do is business almost. So that's just something to keep in mind. You do got to spend the $75, but you should be able to take 100% of that off of the top, depending on how you do your taxes as a business expense. So anyway, that's I don't really have any other announcements. We got a few more things planned. I know we got the elections coming up for the board members and the for STL REIA coming up this fall. So if you want to be on the board and you've been with the group for a couple years, and you have an interest, send us a note and we'd be happy to get you on the ballots here. It doesn't pay anything, although you do get to sit in on some extra meetings and you get to network with some people you wouldn't normally, get to talk to. So there are some definite advantages. We do put in a lot more time though than what most people think as far as that goes too though. Sometimes you might want to just remain a member, and I totally understand that. I did that for many years. And in fact, I was a member many years when I didn't even show up. I think I kept my membership going years ago for 5 or 6 or 7 years without even making one meeting, but I still had all the newsletters that come in, because we still have the paper newsletters, and we still, there's a lot of things that you do get. A lot of the groups went under lately too in the last couple of years. I know a lot of new groups sprung up, but I still believe we're one of the oldest in the country, and I know the oldest in St. Louis area, been around since 1977, and we're still the only nonprofit that I know of. I think there's a couple others around the country, but I don't know of too many. Most of them are for profit. Nothing wrong with profit. We all got to make money, but you want to know what the motivation is. Are they trying to sell you a program every month, or are they trying to sell you some properties? I know a lot of the groups, the smaller ones that sprung up in the last few years, they mainly meet to sell their off-market properties. In my experience from seeing them, what I've seen is there's a reason they're off-market. It's because they can't put them on market. And that's just, just be aware of what you're looking at. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. And you can, the groups are all good for networking. Just be aware of what their motivation is. I just like to point that out. So anyway, that's about all I'm going to talk about. I don't really have anything today. Other than with good conversations. I mean, the Section 8 program is always good to find out about. I know they're changing. SAFER program, I don't know as much about it. I wish I did in a lot of ways, but then again, I'm glad I don't in other ways when I hear about some of this stuff. So, but that's something I appreciate you filling in us on that, David, because yeah, you would think direct deposits would be ideal. But if you don't have a record, what do you do, So anybody else have anything you want to talk about? This is a nice, safe place where you got all friendly faces here for the most part. Even the ones that don't show their face, we know they're beautiful on the inside, and they're here to just to share value like all of us.
I'm just wondering, is there a possibility we could get someone from the SAFER program to come and talk about the program?
Well, it's possible. We've tried to get a lot of the government agencies to talk to us, and we've just not had good experience. We used to have a guy, Joe, what was his last name? That used to be with the county, and he would always get people to come in and talk about every 2 years. He would come and talk live. The last time we had him set up, all of a sudden he disappeared, and I didn't hear from him up till 3 weeks ahead of time. And that was very unusual for him. He's no longer with him, and there's no way to get a hold of him. Joe O'Connell, that's his name. And he was a good guy. I don't know. I do not have a good firsthand connection anymore. That was the one we had, because I know Ruth, our farmer treasurer, who passed away just last year or so. She had a lot of good relationships with a lot of the government people, and he was one of them that, I mean, he would even come and do Saturday classes for us and never charge us anything. He would bring people in, and really it was well worthwhile. We'd have to rent a place, and we usually charged like $69 or $99 or something, included lunch and everything else. But he would come and he'd bring people in, and it was really a great day of education with what the county wouldn't do and some of the programs. I personally, though, Denise, do not know anybody now. Every time I've reached out, I had somebody that actually took his place in the county with the commissioner's office there, and they said she said that she'd get back with me over and over, and she never has. That's been over 2.5 years now, and I finally just gave up on even trying to get a hold of her, because I would call, leave the message, I would send emails. And I mean, even her assistant, I talked to several times. Oh, I'll have her call you right back. And here we are. So if I can find something, yes, if you happen to know anybody, please have them get in touch with me or get in touch with them yourself. We can set up a meeting. You don't even have to get prior approval from me. Just set up a meeting and we'll schedule a Zoom where we can talk, or a phone call. I'm pretty open for whatever we can do. It could be midnight. I'm up a lot of times at midnight or 1 o'clock. I don't care. You know, you can use any excuse you want. There's not going to be a good one though, because we can do it now virtually. We can always get on here. If you can't make our regular meeting, we'll be happy to do a Zoom meeting and record it at midnight that we can share with our group. You know, we can have questions ahead of time. I do that. I know a lot of times on my podcast, I'll give somebody the questions ahead of time, just so you have a chance to look at them. Then all we got to do is have a 15-minute conversation, you know, whenever it's convenient for you. We could do the same thing with anybody with the Safer program or anybody that wants to tune in. We can do this now. You know, we haven't always had this luxury. I call it a luxury because, you know, it's just something we can do. But any suggestions you have too, if you have a suggestion for any meeting you want to see coming up, yeah, just please send me a note. I'm happy to get a hold of anybody. You know, we got some good stuff coming in. We have a lot of people that don't want to be on camera, don't want to show up live too, and they have good information. Some of those people are good for the podcast though. We can go ahead and just do that, just a private little one-on-one thing. And then I just kind of share the stuff. I know, you know, Pat, Jim Heiser's wife, she never wants to talk publicly. She's one of the best speakers though, and has some of the best insight. I finally talked her into doing a podcast with us, you know, that we just finally put up there, and she agreed to that. But she, you know, and she's got some of the greatest information. She just don't want to talk in front of people. And I understand that, you know. I was kind of like that for years. Finally, I just had to say, I don't care if everybody laughs at me, and here we are, you know, and that's good. So as long as I just talk about stuff I know, and yes, sure, they're my opinions, but all I can tell you is stuff from my experience, stuff I've gone through. I can't tell you anything else, but other people can. You know, you've got experience that nobody else has, and you know, you want to share it with us. Somebody else, I'll guarantee you, will learn from your experience, guaranteed. So, in fact, Denise, whenever you're ready, we can set up a time to meet. And you can tell us your experience, because you could definitely be of value to help other investors and other people. And I open that to anybody. So that's a lot of me talking. Anybody else have anything they want to say? Good discussions today. No? Everybody's ready for lunch? Yeah. Okay. Well, our breakfast, depending on where you're at.
Mid-morning snack.
Mid-morning snack. Okay. We had a guy from India a few weeks ago on here, and it was 11 o'clock his time. So I guess he could get ready for a midnight snack. I'd have to say that's probably got to be one of the most difficult time zones in the world to be tuning into. Most of these meetings would be like Europe and some of them places like there. Because I know my friend Josh from Israel, him and his brother live there. And I meet him at 8 o'clock our time on a Sunday morning, but it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon his time the next day. And then some of the people like on the other side, Singapore and some of them places, it's like tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But it's very interesting because we all get to do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good thing. I say the good thing because it is. Because I am connected with more people now in some of my groups than I would not have been able to even know a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Well, if nothing else, everybody have a good lunch. Go out and breakfast, dinner, wherever you're at. Go out there, make some deals. Yep. And you got any questions or anything? This is always a good place every Friday at 11. Tune in. Kathy Davis will be here next week, which will be the first Friday of the month. So bring your legal questions. In the meantime, just have some fun.
Thanks, everyone. This was very helpful today.
All right. Thanks for everybody for coming here today. Good seeing y'all.
Take care.
All right. Bye now.
Thanks. Bye-bye.